Hi, everyone. Welcome to our final Dream Team chat of February. We are in the final week of our Leap to Lead program that we have been hosting all month long here on the Dream Team chat for all of our team to enjoy and to learn from. And so we're so excited to close it out. Just a few days away from March, our new spring and summer catalog is going to launch, and we are just getting ready to head into like a brand new season of our Scentsy business. And so, with that being said, we do have this final night to kind of just recap and then encourage you guys about what the Leap to Lead program really was meant to instill and to equip you guys to move in your business in a way that promotes leadership and growth. Okay, so I am going to kick us off with just kind of a basic recap. If you've missed a couple of weeks, I know we have people here who hasn't been able to hop on. Alex is back. Hi. Recap what we've been talking about the last 3 weeks with our Dream Team Chat and our Leap to Lead program. Just to give you a brief rundown, and then Alex will close us out with some just final motivation and encouragement for how to continue sponsoring and what that looks like in your business as a system. Okay. So week one, back in the beginning of February, I know it feels like just days ago for some of us. I feel like February went by so quickly, while January took 7 years.
Truly.
So, so glad that you guys have stuck in there with us, and I hope that you've learned things and learned how to equip your business to be a leader, whether you are a leader already or you're stepping into that. So week one, we really talked about business basics, and you'll have to excuse me and my raspy voice. I am getting over sickness. But week one, we talked about business basics. Okay. So that was really just solidifying the business practices that you should have in your business as a Scentsy consultant, not as a leader, not as somebody who wants to build a team, but truly just somebody who is looking at their business and saying, okay, in order to potentially sponsor somebody, what should my business look like, right? So we talked about what the lead requirements were, but we also talked about what you should be doing in your business that will be something that you need to hold in the balance of leadership. So that looks like high PRV, right? That looks like going above and beyond the 500 minimum, which is the leadership minimum that Scentsy requires. We're looking beyond that, right? So before or as you're looking to sponsoring, you don't have to have 2,000 PRV to start sponsoring somebody, but you should be aiming higher than that 500 minimum. Okay. You should be consistent in your follow-up. You should be consistent in sharing, knowing how, and feeling comfortable in sharing Scentsy and getting new customers, right? So partying, networking, events, any of those things, those should be regular habits in your business, or you should be working on growing your network so that you are able to not only have a great pool of customers that are revolving doors and that you are meeting new people through, but also so you have a good pool of people to potentially bring on as teammates, right? So you cannot grow in your business if you are, excuse me, pulling from the same 10, 15 people all the time, right? You have to be constantly growing. And so your business basics in that week one, we just talked about what does it look like for you as a consultant to start out a really strong foundation in your business as it pertains to you as a consultant and how you are working with your customers, how you are working your business day to day. What does that look like? What habits do you have in place? And just super simple but effective ways to make sure that your business is healthy in the beginning, right? And again, we're talking to essential and certified consultants, right? Those newbies. But obviously, this program was open to everybody and people who wanted to relaunch their business or people who needed a refresher.
Or leaders who are wanting to lead their team well.
Sure. Yeah. So it was a great starting point for leaders to be able to say, okay, when I'm talking to my new consultants, this is where you should be at when you're looking at growing a team. Okay. So, excuse me, week two, we then dove right into sponsoring, right? So we talked about, well, actually, Alex talked about because she was solo that week, but she did a really great job at the benefits of sponsoring, right? And so it wasn't just about bringing people onto your team, but really understanding your compensation plan, really understanding why we sponsor, why we're building, and then how to do that, how to have those joint conversations. What's it look like to network with people and be intentional about having joint conversations? And what is the benefit to your customers of being a Scentsy consultant, right? And why does that benefit them? And how does growing your business team wise look in the long run? Okay, and so um, paired with that, when you choose to step into leadership, with it comes the responsibility of knowing what that business should look like for the people that you are bringing on, and having that familiarity with the compensation plan, and just knowing your business, knowing the business through and through, right? And so it can't be the blind leading the blind per se. You should have the thirst to want to know it. Let me just say that, like, there is something to be said for joining Scentsy, and then just like a short time later, your best friend or your sister or somebody close to you says, okay, I want to join. And you may not have all the answers, and it's okay to not have all the answers, but it's not okay to bring a bunch of people on or bring somebody on and then leave them high and dry with no way to have the resource to figure it out. You're not helping them, you're not figuring it out with them. Like, that should be something that you guys are doing together, or that you should be doing in your business before you bring people on, so that when you do, you have the answers. Okay. And so week 2 was all about that breakdown. Okay. Having conversations, creating your list of 100, or creating your list of people who you want to be intentional about. Asking them, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And what does it look like to be a good sponsor, and to be intentional, not to be cold messaging people, not to be throwing out that ask to just anybody, but really paying attention to your really great customers, or paying attention to those people in your niche or in your circle who would benefit from this Scentsy business. Like, all of that is a part of being a really good sponsor, and being a really good sponsor starts before you even sponsor somebody, right? It comes with the knowledge, it comes with being intentional, it comes with being authentic, right? It comes with having those genuine conversations, and recognizing the amazing qualities in other people that would benefit from a Scentsy business. Okay. And so Alex gave a lot of really great tips in that video, talking about, basically just doing the things that lead you to those conversations, or basically just doing and having those conversations, because you're never going to get better at having a joint conversation with somebody, or having a party, or any of those things. You're never going to get good at it without doing it. Okay, so if you're afraid to step into sponsoring because you're afraid somebody's going to say no to you, the only way to get over that is to actually have the conversation and be told no. And that's going to happen. And so you need to prepare for that, and you need to just step into it. Okay. And knowing how to bust excuses and to show up with the answers. And it's not always going to be like you give them the answer and they change their mind right there on the spot, but just being aware of what people's fears are and what their no's may mean, and asking questions and being honest in your responses, and giving people room to think about it, giving people room to share with you their honest opinions, and just being able to give them information. There's a lot of power in that. And it leads people often to then thinking about it still, and then coming back to you, or you coming back to that conversation later, and their minds changing completely. Right? So many times that has happened in my business, in her business, and so many people's business, where we've asked somebody and they've said no, and it's because of this reason. And we told them, hey, I hear you. This is, kind of my take on that. And then we come back to that conversation 2 months later, and their mind is completely changed. Okay. So, but that all comes with preparation.
Yep.
And so, when you are getting ready to step into sponsoring, you have to prepare for that. And there's ways that you can do that. Okay. And then moving along to last week, week 3, which was systems in leadership. And basically, this was the balancing of, once you start sponsoring, or before you get to that step, you are building systems in your business that support both you as a sponsor, you as a coach to the people that you are sponsoring, plus having your own business on the other side of it. Okay. So this isn't just a like, okay, I'm just a consultant, I'm just doing this. Okay, now I'm just a sponsor and I'm just doing this. It's no, holding both of those things equal, or I won't say equal, but holding both of those things at the same time,
Mhm.
so that you are able to balance your business and balance being a coach and a sponsor to a team of people, whether that's one person, whether that's 10 people, whether that's 100 people. You are able to have systems and a healthy foundation in your business to be able to support the business that you're moving forward. Because if you want the long term, you know, things that we talk about in this business, like promoting, right? Promoting to director, star director, superstar director, earning trips, all those things that comes with um, having systems that support both being a sponsor, being a coach, and having your own business and
Mhm.
figuring out what those look like for you. Okay. So we talked a lot about even if you don't necessarily want to be director and have a team of 100, it's showing up now for the kind of person, the kind of consultant, kind of leader you want to be
Mhm.
today, right? So in turn, we said, if you want to be a director, you need to start acting like a director. Okay, doing the things that other directors do the things that other leaders do, and that will serve you well. And it's a big part of knowing the way, going the way, and showing the way, right? And so this business is a constant like ebb and flow of things are changing, so we learn, we go with it, we find our own way, we pave a new way, we're learning from others, we're sharing ideas, and once we figure out something that works well for us, we turn around and we share it with the next. Okay,
Mhm.
and we're constantly sharing it with each other. That's what leaders do, right? And so the more that we do that and the more that we make it a habit in our business, right? Because when you're doing stuff in your business, you have things to share with your team. You have things to share with the people that you are bringing it up. And even if you don't have anybody on your team, getting in that habit,
Mhm.
right, of sharing it. And so, what does it look like for you to do that now with nobody on your team or with one person on your team? Okay. And figuring out what those systems look like now, regardless of the numbers. Okay. And so we went through a bunch of different systems that we think are pretty vital for a healthy leader to have instilled in their business, which is like recognition, knowing what your team page or how you're showing up on a team page, what that looks like for you. How are you training your teammates? How are you teaching your teammates to train their teammates? Like, what does that onboarding process look like? How do you create a duplicatable system for your people to be able to continue to grow, right?
Mhm.
Again, if that's your goal. How are you communicating? How are you talking with your team? How is your team able to access you, right? Are they getting the information from you about what's going on? Because you can't assume that everybody is jumping on at 9 a.m. and checking their news station, or everybody is seeing every post on the Facebook page. So are you creating a system that allows you to communicate with your team on a regular basis, right? Are you tracking numbers? Are you constantly aware of where you're at and where you want to be and what the gap is, right? And again, it comes to preparation. It comes down to if you're not preparing for it, then you're not going to hit it, because none of these things happen by accident. We don't become leaders by accident. We
Mhm.
don't earn trips by accident, right? It all comes with preparation. And then the end of that last week, we left off with personal connection, right? And we kind of dabbled in the expectations and the leadership woes and stuff, and that was a little bit of like a come to Jesus moment where we had to talk about the hard stuff that comes with leadership, but not wanting it to be a deterrent for you guys to step into it, but just understanding that it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's not all fun. Okay. And that's where the balance comes in, right?
Mhm.
Because being a consultant to my customers brings me an immense amount of joy. And so if I can balance that joy, or the joy that I have from celebrating wins with my teammates, if I can balance that with the sometimes hard moments that leadership can bring, or even being a consultant can bring. Sometimes I have hard moments with customers, and I have to be able to be so immersed in my business that I have a lot of other joys to combat
Mm.
those hard moments, right? But you won't have that if you're not doing things consistently. If you're not showing up for your team consistently, connecting with them, asking them what they accomplished this week, celebrating things with them, you're not going to have that balance. You're going to get stuck in the cycle of, this is so hard. Oh man, this sucks. Oh man, this was a hard conversation, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're going to get stuck in the hard momentum, and it's only going to drag you down. And that's where burnout comes in. And that's what we don't want for you guys. So we wanted to bring it to the table so that you guys were aware that these things do happen, and to expect it, but to also find ways to combat it. Okay. And the overall theme here, if you guys want the one secret word that sums up leadership, that sums up the whole, this program and any other program to follow, here it is. I bet you Alex can say it without even me. We didn't talk about this. What is the
Is
word?
it my word?
It's your word. It's our word.
Consistency.
Yeah. Yeah.
The word.
The word.
The magic sauce to success with Scentsy.
If anybody wants like the secret to Scentsy success, like if anybody is like, what,
Yeah.
can you just tell me what it takes to like be a superstar director, or to like, it's consistency.
Totally.
It's consistency, but like little asterisk. It's funny because me and Mary Faith were talking about like the little disclaimers at the end of commercials,
Yeah.
where it's like, take this for seizures, but also may cause like heart disease
Right.
and death and blah, blah, blah.
It's like the
yeah,
speed up part
yeah,
of the
yeah.
of the announcement.
It's like consistency by doing the right things.
Yep.
Right? Because you can be consistent at doing the wrong things. Right? And I think Orville said it one time at a keynote where it's like, it's not about being a quitter, it's quitting at the right things. Right? So sometimes
Yeah,
you're gonna have to
love
put
that.
things down in your business that just aren't working for you. This doesn't mean take on everything and do everything and try to do it all really well and be super consistent at it, and then all of a sudden you're burnt out.
Yep.
Right?
And it also doesn't mean if something doesn't work, you just throw the whole business away.
Right. So it's being consistent at the right things. And so this Leap to Lead program, we believe, because we've done it a few times, we've seen the success of it, and frankly, it's what we built our business on. And we're not the most successful people out there by any stretch of the imagination, but we do consider ourselves successful in a lot of different areas. And for us, we have found personal success. So we are sharing with you what we have done and what we know to be true. So in our opinion, and you don't have to take that to the bank, but in our opinion, being consistent at the right things is exactly what we provided for you here. Right? And in the last 3 weeks and this week, this Leap to Lead program has given you the tools and the resources and the systems and the ideas to be consistent at the right things in order to grow your business as a leader. Okay. And like we said in the last week, this is not a do it once and it's done. This is a rinse and repeat type cycle. And she's going to talk about that more tonight, but make no mistake that you cannot just do these things once and expect it to run on autopilot for the rest of your business. This is something that you are going to constantly have to have a hand in. One of like my favorite superstar directors who we love dearly, Jennifer Anderson, does not stop sponsoring because she's at the top, because she has great success. She's been able to do things differently in her business than she did in the beginning that may look like taking a step back, but she's not recruiting.
Right.
She's not partying. She's or doing events, she's not doing those things. She's still doing those things. Your levels of consistency can change, but she's still very consistent in the very basic things that it takes to make this business run, which are the 3 legs of success: high PRV, sponsoring, coaching, and self-care. You have to get very, very good at doing those 3 things. And if you're not familiar with the 3 legs of success, it's like a stool, and it's the 3 legs, and it's high PRV, sponsoring, coaching, and then the seat is self-care. That's where you can take a moment, sit down. Okay. But you are supported by those 3 things that you are doing consistently in your business. Okay. So that's kind of a brief recap. All of those videos are recorded and uploaded, I believe, to both of our YouTubes. And so if you missed any of that, or you're like, wow, I need to go back and watch that one, I missed it, please go back and rewatch.
Mhm.
It is something that you can share with your teams. It's something that you can keep in your back pocket. And then, like I said tonight, I was recapping, and she's kind of just going to close this out with how to move forward in
Yeah.
the sponsoring journey.
Yeah. So I just want to give you guys some inspiration as we step into a brand new catalog season, and as we really focus on being consistent and intentional with the work that we're doing. And so before I give you my little bit of my heart, I want to say another quote that Jennifer Anderson loves, and I think is so true, is it says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I love that, because your mindset truly sets the tone for how you show up.
Yeah.
And if you think that you can do it, if you have this can-do growth mindset, then the world is your oyster. You are able to do anything you want in your business, because nothing in this business is a skill that you have to have when you join. You can absolutely learn and fine-tune every single thing you need to be successful in this business. But on the opposite side of things, if you go in there with a negative mindset, a fixed mindset that you can't do it, it's too hard, it's set against you, you don't know how, then you're right. You are going to stop yourself right there with that thought, right? And so it's really important that we, as leaders, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, that we really try every single day to shift into that growth mindset. And it's something that you have to train your brain to do. Your brain is actually very much a creature of habit. If you've ever tried to start a new workout routine or a diet, you soon figure this out. It's hard to rewire your brain, but it is not impossible. And it's built with
Over time,
consistency over time.
Yeah.
Okay. So there have been often times where I find myself like, oh, I'm in this fixed mindset, and I can snap myself out of it and provide myself a growth mindset that kind of just shifts my whole perspective. Okay. And so know that that is capable. That is something that you can absolutely pay very close attention to, and shift your mindset to a growth mindset to where you can accomplish anything you set your mind on. You can learn and grow as time goes. You can be extremely successful at this if you tell yourself that you can be extremely successful at it, and then you go and do. Did you have to add something?
Yeah, no, I just thought of something really cool that it goes totally with it. So I want everybody to take their two hands like this, and put your hands together like this, and do it like you would normally do it if you were doing it, and then write in the comments what thumb is on top. Oh, so interesting. So my right thumb is on top.
My left thumb is on top.
Okay. So that has no bearing on your life, right? No bearing.
Yeah.
But what happens is, and what people have figured out, is that at some point in the womb, we did that.
Oh, really?
Right? And so then in the womb, we kept doing that, and it became a habit. Like,
cute.
Yeah. So we've been doing that since birth. Or since we were in our mother's wombs.
Weird.
Yeah. So it took us, I don't know how long, but like we spent 9 months, 8 months, whatever, doing that. And so if we were to switch it, it would feel so weird.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Right?
It does feel weird.
But how long would you have to switch it for it to not feel weird anymore?
Yeah.
I think statistics or whatever data shows that takes like 21 days for you to form a habit.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd have to do that for 21 days. Every time you thought about it, put your hands together and do that, because you did that so much in the womb, right? It does feel so weird. And some people do that like side by side. Like there are some people who do that.
Oh.
I know. Yeah, it does totally feel weird to switch it. But if you did it for long enough,
weird.
if you did it for long enough, you would absolutely form a new habit, and it wouldn't feel weird anymore. Okay. So it just plays into that idea that like it would have to take, you would have to mentally think about it.
Very intentional about doing that.
Conscious of it. Yeah. So weird. It is weird. Yeah. Aren't you right-handed?
Yeah.
And she puts
maybe it has something to do with like the side of the brain, like what side of brain is like your default, because like, like we're not the same.
Yeah.
With that.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
Like she checks all her emails and I don't.
Yeah, no, truly. There was a time where I was like, we are so alike. Like,
and then
we're like an Enneagram.
and then she moved here and she's like, actually.
Yeah. She has
You
like
weird.
thousands of emails unread and
Yeah.
text messages unread, and I'm like, how do you survive?
Yeah.
Because I hate notifications.
Gotta
So
feed my pants, baby. No, I'm just kidding. You know, it's like my own little organized chaos.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
She's thriving.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Um,
fun little
fun.
experiment.
Yeah, fun. Super cool. Really like a tangible way to talk about habits. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And that brings me to my heart for you guys. And I just want to like again put into perspective the idea that you are capable of changing things about your business and focusing on things in your business to grow your business and to transform your business, whether you've been here for 10 years or you've been here for 10 minutes. Your business is going to grow and change over time. It's just how you're going to choose to do that, right? And so I don't know if you guys noticed, Brie and I have been talking about it a lot lately, but we are hoping to tap over here, shift our culture
Yeah.
in our team, in our group. We're not training all of Cincy. We're
Right.
training you guys. We're
Right.
focusing with you guys. And we're trying to shift ourselves out of COVID mindset.
Yeah.
And it really encourage you guys to party,
Yeah.
to do parties. We've been talking a lot about the benefit of doing parties, Facebook parties, in-person parties, open houses. And we were kind of reflecting on that
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
talking about we've seen so many of you guys do parties this month and last month. Like
Literally, I was scrolling, I was looking for her dream team chat post, and it was like I was scrolling
Party
all,
after
and it, yeah,
party.
it was people showing their parties, like amazing.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
And that is a true benefit to your business. And you will see through time and consistency and intentional work towards parties, you will see your business grow. You will see your customer base increase. You will see new teammates come on. You will see the fruit of that labor happening. Okay. And so that has been something that very intentionally we have been focusing on coaching you guys, but you guys have been very intentional on taking that information, taking that inspiration and running with it and doing and having action in it. And the results have been phenomenal. You guys have been doing amazing from
Yes.
getting in person with your customers, showing your team that you're partying, learning new skills, stepping outside of your comfort zone. All of that has been so invigorating and incredible. And like, kudos to you guys, like kudos to you guys for actually doing the work in your business. And so we're hoping that by taking that intentional focus on your personal business, right? And then using the information with the Leap to Lead to really talk about the foundation of your business, and then building on that with sponsoring and coaching, and then building on that with systems, that this side of your business, the leadership side of your business, will also become a regular ebb and flow of your business on a very consistent, regular basis. We are hoping that being intentional in your personal business will allow you to be intentional sponsoring and showing your new consultants how to work, and then sponsoring again, right? It is something, okay,
I'm sorry.
it is something that will grow over time with your focus and with your intentional work. Okay. And so we really want you guys to have the confidence and the knowledge, which is why we did this training. Okay. To have the confidence and the knowledge to be able to step into leadership regularly, not sponsor one person and get excited and then not sponsor someone for a year. Okay. Not sponsor someone and then never train them. Okay. But to be able to pace yourself with consistency, with the systems, right? Fine tuning those systems, learning those systems, adding on to those systems, okay? That this will become a habit, a regular habit in your business, okay? Now, I want to be clear that when you are kind of juggling your personal business, right? Your follow-ups, your parties, your customer service, your deliveries, all that stuff with sponsoring, there is like a balance that you have to work out. And in general, it should be about 80-20.
Yeah.
Okay. 80% of your business should be on trying to get PRV, trying to get new customers, treating your customers well, booking parties, events, fundraisers, all of that good stuff. That should be about 80% of your time. Okay. then the 20% of your time should be training your new consultants, showing them the things that you're doing in that 80% of your time. Having those joint conversations, right? Working on those systems like recognition and team communication and things like that. Okay. So we're not saying put 100% of your time here and 100% of your time here, because no one has 200% to give. Okay. But we're saying fine tune this 80% side of your personal business, fine tune this 20% side of your leadership business, and then be very consistent with that. And once you've done that, you will find that you have created a habit of being a great leader in this business. And there's always room for growth
Yeah.
and to readjust and to take out things that aren't working and add new things to try. Okay. But it's that you're not wavering on the leadership side of things. It's not that you're going months without doing the leadership tasks, right? We talked about last month or last week with the systems, figuring out what it looks like daily, weekly, monthly, right? But it's still done on a consistent basis.
Yeah. Can I add?
Yeah.
Okay, two things. One, there will also, yes, establish the 80-20, get comfortable in that, but also recognize that I know for us, we talk about this a lot, that like with the natural seasons that Scentsy falls into,
Mhm.
I know my business will shift sometimes and it'll be like 60-40, where like
Mhm.
during the spring and summer, I'm working on leadership systems,
Yeah.
sponsoring, setting up my new consultants for foundational stuff. We're working on like planning, because I look at like fall and winter is like booming,
Totally.
and it's where our big incentive falls. And so I'm working on the coaching part of it with my new consultants that I brought in from the spring and summer,
Mhm.
but also like with my customers. I'm wine and dining my customers during the
Mhm.
fall and winter, because that's where the boom of my business happens.
Right.
And so sometimes that number will fluctuate depending on the season,
Right.
and that's okay too. But in general, it's an 80-20 balance. Like week to week, it's 80-20, right?
Mhm.
Where Tuesdays are team days. That's just how we naturally fall into it. And that's the day where we're probably giving 100% most of the time, or
Mhm.
90% of our
Right.
time. But in general, it falls into the 20% category
Yep.
of our business.
Yep.
Okay. And then the other thing that I wanted to add on is something that I think Jen Audette said initially, but I know Chloe Cox talks about it too. It's the 2-2-2.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's sponsor 2 people per month, get $2,000 every month for 2 years, and see where your business is at.
Mhm.
If you can do that, if you do those 2 things over the course of 2 years, your business will look completely different
Mhm.
than it does right now. Completely different.
And then the add-on to that is also that then you're training those 2 people every month that you're sponsoring
To do the same.
same thing.
Yeah, yeah. And not everybody's gonna do it,
No.
right? So
No, absolutely not.
something else that Jennifer Anderson says that I absolutely love is you have to recruit the many to find the few.
Totally. And it's absolutely 100% true.
Yes.
And if you're looking at numbers, 1 out of every 10 consultants you have will
See the
likely see the
vision.
vision
Yeah.
and want to work their business in the same caliber that you're working.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means if you have a team of 3, 4, 5, you might be feeling discouraged because you haven't even gotten to that one go-getter business builder yet. Now, with that being said, that's an average.
Yep.
It's not an absolute. And additionally, we need and want those hobby consultants. We need and want the people who are here just to get their discount, place an order every few months, and are having a good time. So we absolutely don't count those out. But remember that we walk with the walkers and we run with the runners, and we focus on what we can control. So that's again our systems, our personal business, the conversations we're having, right? And so don't get discouraged if you're finding that you have teammates who are not working the business the same way you do, because that's actually the most common. Okay. The fact is that we have 15 people on this Zoom and we have a group of over 1,000 people. So that goes to show
Yes.
it's about 1 in every 10 people
Yes.
see the vision and are wanting to work their business in a way that you are. Okay. So
No
don't,
shade to anybody who's not here.
no, totally. We love everyone,
We
and
love-
we have some dream teams where there's 30 people.
Yes.
But I'm just saying in a number sense, okay?
Yep.
That's about the average, especially as you're building.
Yep.
Especially as you're
Yep.
working your way up there. So don't get discouraged and hard on yourself. Like, please don't. But also know that this is a business where you kind of have to hold yourself accountable. You don't have a boss. You don't clock in. You don't have set hours. This is all on you to decide, how am I showing up? How am I holding myself accountable? And so it takes a little bit of a heart check sometimes to say, I haven't been doing my best.
Right.
I need
Right.
to do better. I need to show up. I've dropped the ball, right? But in the same too, also, this is the same business that you say, heck yes, I
Yep.
did that.
Yep. Yep.
I see what you did.
Dude.
Yeah. Has that ever happened?
No.
Amazing. Okay. That's all we have, you guys. We hope that you are so encouraged and so happy and so encouraged, so ready.
So happy.
And she's so happy. We hope that you guys are excited to step into leadership. This new catalog is going to be incredible. Such an amazing time. You guys, spring is the time for growth. Okay. So we hope that you are feeling ready to take on this upcoming spring, to grow as the seasons change, to grow in your business. And you guys, we're here cheering you on, and we are so excited.
And
for you.
doing it with you.
Yep, we are.